Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to Cooking with Adam. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. To celebrate Thanksgiving here in Canada, we're going to be making a pumpkin pie from scratch. Oh man. Let's start off by showing you all the ingredients you will need to make this pumpkin pie. First, let's show you the ingredients for the pie crust. For the pie crust, you're going to need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, a half teaspoon of salt, and an 1/8 teaspoon of baking powder. You're also going to need 6 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter cut into 1/4-inch pieces, and you're also going to need 3 tablespoons of vegetable shortening. And now let's show you the ingredients for the pumpkin pie filling. For the filling, you'll need 1 large egg, 3 large egg yolks, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of brown sugar that's packed, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1/8 teaspoon of ground cloves, and 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. And here we have 1 cup of 1/2 cream mixed in with 1/4 cup of heavy cream. And also, you're going to need 1 3/4 cup of roasted pumpkin, which we're going to work on right now. When grabbing a pumpkin for your pumpkin pie, make sure you grab a pie pumpkin, or it's also called a sugar pumpkin, rather than a regular big pumpkin that's used for decorations. The difference between these two is that the smaller pie pumpkin tastes much better than the regular jack-o'-lantern, call it pumpkin. Let's start by preheating the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit to get ready for our pumpkin. Now to prep your pumpkin, you want to cut it from the stem, which is right here, to the one side, half. It's going to take some force. You got to get strong with it, you got to get some muscles. Cut this, and we're almost through. And we're through. Try to go all the way around too, because you're going to pull it apart in half. Okay. So, made a nice cut there. Now let's try to pull it apart. It's going to take, again, some more force. Got to be strong, got to have these muscles, you know. Here we go. There we go. There's the pumpkin. Oh, this smells amazing. 2 halves. Okay. Now what you want to do is grab a bowl to get ready to put all the innards of the pumpkin in. Grab yourself a fork or a spoon. Try to use both in case it all the stringiness pieces get stuck. So we'll get all these innards out, work them out, we'll put them in the bowl. Okay. Just clean it out, get all the seeds and all the stringy innards of the pumpkin, because we don't want that in our filling. Try to like shave it off, all these stringy pieces, try to shave them off. Now it looks ready. That's what you want. I'm gonna do the same thing I just did to this half of the pumpkin, and then get it ready to go into the oven to roast it. Okay, so now we finished cleaning up all the inside of the pumpkin. Let's cut off the stem. Make it like a triangle, cut it off. There goes the stem. That's the stem right there. So one half. Let's do it to the other side. Make sure you grab the pumpkin firmly. Be careful when using the knife. Again, make another triangle. Cut. Okay. Take it off. There's a stem. And also, don't forget about the bottom. Cut out this piece at the bottom. Another triangle. There goes that bottom piece. And same with the other side. And there goes that piece. And now it's ready to be put into the oven. Let's get our pan. Here's our pan. Move our knife inside. Grab one piece of the pumpkin, put it on. Grab the second piece of pumpkin and put it on. Okay. And I'm also going to be putting a little bit of sugar on each side, just so it gets a little bit of that caramelization on the inside of the pumpkin. Just a little sprinkle on both is okay. Gives it a better taste when it comes out and you puree it. Okay. And now it's ready to go into the oven. Okay, so our oven is ready to go. It's been preheating to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're gonna grab our pumpkin halves and put them right inside. And these are gonna go for about 45 minutes to an hour. So in the meanwhile, let's go work on our pie crust. Okay, so we got all our ingredients here for the pie crust. And we have our food processor here ready to go. We're gonna load everything in the food processor and process it. So we're gonna start off with the flour. Let's put it in. Carefully. Try not to spill everywhere. It might get messy, but you know, sometimes messy can be okay. Only at times though. Try to be patient with it. Try not to get it everywhere. Save yourself some cleaning. Okay, the flour's in. Always start off with your dry ingredients first, and then work your way to your wet ingredients. So, let's get that to sit properly. Put it off. Okay. Now, let's put in our sugar. There's our sugar. Okay, sugar's done. Now we have our salt and our baking powder. Put those in. Now we put our unsalted butter that is cooled. It has to be cold. Okay, that's done. Now we put our vegetable shortening that is also cooled. It has to be cold as well. Okay, that's done. And next you want to put 4 tablespoons. Here's our tablespoon of ice cold water. See how cold it is? That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. Okay. This is ready to go. Okay. Let's put the lid on. Here's the lid. Lock it. Okay. It's locked now. And let's begin to process it. Now you want to get this nice and mixed so you can start your pie crust. You can already see that it's starting to become like a dough consistency. Let's keep going for a little bit more. And I think that's good. Let's grab our bowl here, our stainless bowl. Take it out of the food processor. Okay. And put it into our bowl. And we have our pie dough. Now that the dough's done, let's work it with our hands a bit. Just a little bit, just to work in everything. Has a nice soft consistency to it. Okay. Now let's form a ball. Okay. Form it into a ball, just like that. Okay, put it in your bowl. Grab a piece of saran wrap, which I got right here. Put it right over. And cover it. Cover it up. Okay, now it's ready to be put into the fridge. Let it rest in the fridge for 45 minutes. So then we're able to work with it. And now it looks like our pumpkin is done roasting. It's been in the oven at 400 degrees for about an hour now. Let's take it out. It's looking great, nice and soft. Let's put it aside. And let's leave it there till it cools down, and then we're able to work with it. The pumpkin to cool for about 30 minutes, and now it's time to scoop out all the inside and use it as an ingredient for the pie filling. Okay, so we got a spoon here. We're gonna spoon out all the inside, dragging along the skin here. Take out all of this good stuff here. That's what you want. This is what you want. You want to leave the skin. Skin we don't want. The inside we want. The smell of this is just so strong. So it smells delicious. It smells delicious. Especially on a nice fall day. It's perfect. Make sure you get every single bit out. That's one half done here. And we're gonna work on the other half and come back to you. Okay, so we just got done separating the pumpkin innards from the pumpkin skin, and this is what we have. Now we want to take the inside of our pumpkin and put it back into the food processor. Let's put it back in. Now this is to get a nice consistency and remove any of the string, like the stringiness out of the pumpkin. Because we don't want that stringy consistency in the pumpkin filling. Let's close it up and let's turn it on. Let's mix it around a bit to get everything to be blended and processed correctly. Okay. Let's lock it back in. Put our cover back on. And turn it back on for a little bit more. Okay. And now we have that perfect pumpkin puree ready to go for our pie filling. Okay, so now I think our dough is ready, nice and chilled. Yeah, it's nice. It's a firm consistency. That's the consistency you want to work with it. Okay, so now let's prep it. So now we want to prep our pan. We got some butter here. We're gonna brush some butter on it just to make sure nothing sticks. Just a little brush around. Get all the edges. Okay. So now we got butter everywhere. Pan's all buttered. That's ready to go. Let's move this aside. Okay. Now we grab some more parchment paper. Lay it down flat on your work area. Take your dough. Take the ball out. Put it on the parchment paper right in the middle. Okay. Take your trusty dusty roller and start rolling away from the center. Push down. It's going to be hard to work with because it's cold. Keep on working it. Move it around in circles. So we rolled it out. We don't want it too thin. And that's about good right there. Just how it is. Okay. Nice and flat. Nice and circular. You want enough to drape over the pan here about 1 inch all the way around. Okay. Now what you want to do to take it off, you want to take your parchment paper and roll it onto your roller. and then roll it softly. Do not put any pressure. Just lightly roll it. Just how it is. Okay, start your roll. Then bring your parchment down and keep rolling. Keep holding your parchment on the bottom here. Keep your hand here to hold it down so it doesn't pull with the parchment paper. And lightly roll. Don't let it move anywhere. Keep it tight. Take some patience, but you'll get it. And there you go. And now it makes it easy for you to move it onto your pan. So now we take it off. Okay, we have our roll. We remove our parchment paper to the side. Grab our pan. Here's our pan. And now we want to unroll it. So put it on the edge of the pan. Get an inch over. Let it drape only an inch over. Remove it gently. This takes a lot of patience. Okay, and now we try to unroll lightly without trying to rip the bottom. Take it nice and slow. And there we go. Now we drop it lightly into the pan. Keep lifting the corners, the edges here, to bring it down into the pan. Lightly, very lightly, press into the pan, lifting the edges so it drops into it. Okay, and here we go. That's our pie crust. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to drape the edge and start to make curls right here around the whole rim. So you take your finger, you put your finger on everywhere you want to put a curl. You squeeze your finger, and then you take your other hand and you squeeze in, just like that. Put your finger, squeeze it on your finger, and squeeze again. Do that all the way around, just to give it a nice decorative edge. And that's it. The pie crust goes back in the fridge while we wait for the oven to heat. So this will go in for about, I'd say, 20-30 minutes. Now we preheat our oven to 375 and let it preheat and get warm to get ready for our pie crust. Okay, so now while we wait for our pie crust to finish, we're gonna start making the pie filling. So we'll start off with our dry ingredients first. Let's put in our flour, right here, goes in. Okay, next we'll put in our sugar. That's in. Our brown sugar. Okay. Our nutmeg. Our cinnamon. Here's our cinnamon. Okay. Our black pepper. And our ground cloves. Our ground ginger. Okay. And our salt. those are in. Now, it's time to work on the wet ingredients. So first up, we'll put our egg yolks, I should say. Okay, that's in. Clean out the bowl. Make sure we got everything. Okay, that's in. And now, one whole egg. Crack. And in. Okay, throw out the... Now, our cream. Okay, put everything in. And the last but not least, the beautiful pumpkin puree that we made. This is 1 3/4 cup of pumpkin puree. This is the whole pumpkin, that whole pie pumpkin. One whole pumpkin made this amount. And again, make sure you use a pie pumpkin, the smaller pumpkins. Okay, so now let's take our whisk attachment, put it on. Okay, it's on. Get our mixer ready to go. Lock it in, and we start her up. Start it on low, so it doesn't splash all over the place. Let it work. Let all the ingredients mix together. You don't want any clumps of spices or clumps of flour or anything that will ruin this pie. So let it run for a little bit. Turn her off. Okay. Take it off. Okay. Put it to the side. And that's what we got. Let me show you a close-up. Look at that. That's our filling for the pumpkin pie. Oh man. All those fall pumpkin spices. Wow, wow, wow. It smells delicious. And it's time to pull out the pie shell out of the fridge. Here it is. Nice and chilled. Okay, so we have our pie shell here. We're gonna grab some more parchment paper. Here's the parchment paper we use to roll on. We're going to place this back on top of the pie shell. Okay? And push down lightly. Do not try to break the pie shell. Keep lifting the corners. Lift wherever you're pushing down so it doesn't put pressure on the top crust of the pie shell. Okay. And now, this might sound weird to people that don't know, but here we have beans. Now you can use any kind of dry beans to put in it. Now the reason why we use dry beans is because to keep the pie shell weighted down so it doesn't bubble when it's baking. You can use any dry beans, doesn't matter. Make sure to press down a little bit, get some weight under it. This is ready to be put into the oven to bake the pie shell. Okay, so our oven is done preheating at 375 and our pie and beans are ready to go. Let's open up the oven, grab our pie, and put it in. And that goes in for 20 minutes at 375. Okay, so 20 minutes has passed and our pie is partially ready. Let's take it out, put it aside. Okay, so now we have our pie and our beans right out of the oven. It's hot. We got to remove the parchment paper and the beans out of the pie. Okay. And there is our beautiful crust. Now we have aluminum foil here. And the aluminum foil is to protect the edges from burning. So we're going to lay it over the edge. Because we don't want the edge to burn or to brown too quickly, because after we're done this step of putting it back in the oven, then we put our filling inside and it goes right back in for even more time. If you don't do this step, it could burn the whole outside edge of the pie crust. It's ready to go. We're gonna put it back in the oven. We have our pie here with the aluminum foil and it goes back into the oven. Okay, that's gonna go for 375 again for another 20 minutes. Okay, another 20 minutes done. And our pie crust is totally complete. Now let's take it out and we're gonna put it on the table, our working table. Okay, so we have our beautiful pie crust that is done and ready to go. We have our pie filling here. We're gonna mix it up a little bit just because it was sitting for a bit while the pie crust was finishing up. Okay, we'll mix it up. Look at that beautiful color on the filling. This smells so good. If only you could smell this right now. It smells absolutely amazing. Okay, and now we're gonna take our filling and we're gonna put it in to the pie. Okay. Get everything out of there. All that delicious pie filling. This right here smells like Thanksgiving. Everything about Thanksgiving is all in this bowl right here. This is ready to go back into the oven. So now we put it back in the oven, remove the aluminum foil around the edges. Now you want to be careful, you want to put that aside in case your edges get too dark. You want to reapply that aluminum foil to protect the edges from burning. So we have the oven now at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is going to be going in for another 50 to 60 minutes. After an hour and 15 minutes, here's the final product. This smells so delicious. I can't wait to dig in. And now we're gonna put it aside and let it cool down for about an hour. pie has cooled down, and now we're ready to cut ourselves a slice and dig in. Let's cut into this beautiful pie. Straight to the middle. Make a nice triangle cut. Grab our plate. Look at that. The perfect piece, the perfect slice of pie. Cooked all the way through. Amazing. Let's try out this beautiful slice of pumpkin pie. Perfect pie. Cheers, everybody. Absolutely amazing. Every single time I make this pie, it turns out better and better and better than the last. This pie is such a great way to ring in the fall season and to celebrate Thanksgiving. It's so creamy, it's so smooth. The flavors of all the spices, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the black pepper, the cloves, the ginger, all these spices combined, it elevates all the flavors to a whole different level. This pie is the best pumpkin pie you could ever make. I hope you all enjoyed this pie as much as I enjoyed making it and eating it. As a reminder, I've listed all the ingredients down in the video description. I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for watching this video on how to make the best pumpkin pie. If you liked the video, hit the like button down below, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm out. Chai. Oh no. Oh no. I need a drink. I need a drink.